too old for this. Been around this broken down for way too long. What was I thinking, babe? All the mistakes I made. I should've never left your side. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Left my home for this. Starry-eyed, it's no surprise. Things went wrong. When you were there for me, you set my worries free. Now I got to change my mind. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
How could I get you off my mind? Even if time has passed us by, I can explain my things in ways that only you and I can trace. Even when we're far away, I want you to know what I feel is real. I don't wanna leave this place, I won't let it go. Once upon a time with you in Mexico. While the waves are moving on, sunny beach and patios, feel the air is tropical. Should we just run away and go? Even when we're far away, I want you to know what I feel is real. I don't wanna leave this place, I won't let it go. Once upon a time
For more
with
music,
you
check
in
out our Spotify and
Mexico.
YouTube playlists. Enjoy.
Even when we're far away, I want you to know what I feel is real. I don't wanna leave this place, I won't let it go. Once upon a time with you in Mexico.
stay around and dream about you, babe. And I never second guessed that this was right. There's no need to impress this girl tonight. I'm down for anything you say. It's simple. You don't have to try too hard. Yeah, it's simple. If you wanna win my heart, all I need's for you to be everything you are. Yeah, it's simple. Oh, yeah, it's simple. It's clear that we are meant to be flying high effortlessly. It's like a love made for TV. It's simple. You don't have to try too hard. Yeah, it's simple. If you wanna win my heart, all I need's for you to be everything you are. Yeah, it's simple. Oh, yeah, it's simple. It's simple. You don't have to try too hard. Yeah, it's simple. If you wanna win my heart, all I need's for you to be everything you are. Yeah, it's simple. Oh, yeah, it's simple. It's simple. Oh, it's simple. Oh, it's simple.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up, Bonnie? How's everything? All right, all right. Let's get started here. Give me a second here. I got to log into a bunch of stuff here. I haven't. Hopefully, everyone had a decent week. It definitely started off slow. I'll tell you that much. I really wasn't. I didn't have a lot of hope for this week, but it did turn out to be pretty nice yesterday and Wednesday. So we will jump into it here. Where do we want to start here? Let's take a look at some of the stuff that I was looking at for the week here, and I'm going to also look at some of the harmonics that we were looking at. I know there's a couple of new folks that are on my team that I've got started doing some of the harmonics, just to kind of give them a little bit of some direction. You know, the harmonics are definitely, if you use the strategies, I think they're pretty decent to trade off of. You just have to know the way to go with it. So we'll look at that, but I kind of want to review some of the stuff I was looking at. We'll just go down the list here. So the dollar index, right, at the start of the week, let's just go to a 4-hour here. At the start of the week, right, we opened here. I was looking for some downside momentum to close out this inefficiency here. But you can still see we're still trading in the stupid range. Most of last night into tonight, we've definitely got some movement up. You know, I really want to see what the heck this sucker is going to do. You know, it's just been difficult to trade Euro USD. You know, I am bearish on GU, so GU has given us a really defined bearish trend. So that would tell us that the dollar index should be going up. So, and of course, these highs and these highs here are targets. So we'll see what next week brings, but dollar index definitely gave me a lot of issues this week because I couldn't find an entry on Euro USD. What's going on, Fritz? How's everything, man? So let's go. Let's look at AJ. Right, AJ. I was looking at AJ off the daily. There's you could see this on this 4 hour. We had an imbalance here. This was 50% of the daily institutional candle. At this point, I am still bullish. We are bullish on the Australian Japanese yen until it breaks some kind of structure. Now it has, right? We have on the 4 hour broken below all of this madness here. We even broke below here. So I do see us moving down to either sweep these lows, which are just sitting here, right? You can see these, I mean, definitely really nice liquidity area here. And we do have, right, you could see just on the 4 hour time frame, right, we definitely have some imbalance. So I am more to the downside in the short term to get a really nice position to take this higher. Just looking at it here, I mean, you could see we on the 4 hour we definitely traded into this candle off of this move here. So my next area of focus going into next week would be continuing it down and looking to see if we can get an entry somewhere in here to take it lower. You know, just looking off the 4 hour without getting into anything crazy, but you can already see we've got equal lows here, right? So I would potentially like to see an entry somewhere in here and then take it down to at least mitigate some of this week's movement up. Now on the harmonic side, we definitely did. You know, I'm just gonna load two different ones. That way I don't have to keep loading them back and forth, back and forth. All right, there we go. On the harmonic side for AJ, you know, the scanner was calling out a setup, and really this was the entry. My brother's kind of new to it, so I was helping him out, giving him some of my thoughts on it. I'm gonna hide the. There we go. I'll hide this. So the scanner just kept riding this up. You know, I actually got stopped out twice at break even. I took it off of this break here, went into profit, broke out, took it again off of here with the trend line, and just kept getting at break even. It would move like 15 pips in profit, you know, and I personally wasn't confident that it was done moving up until it took that high, which it eventually did, right? I wanted to see these highs taken. But the trade, right? The trade that I personally was looking at on this was this trend line right here, right? As soon as we broke it, and I'll zoom in on it. As soon as we broke it here, okay, I wanted one more candle to break below. So we broke and closed on this candle right here. The next candle opened here. And realistically, how I trade the harmonics is I measure this candle here. You can see 50%. That was my entry. So this, I was entered on this candle here, and you can see just for hours, this thing just lingered there. But the confirmations that I use are the same ones Armando teaches, you know, a trend line break and a SAR flip. So we already had the SAR flip. You could have entered on the break here. I don't like to enter off the break just in case it's a fake out, right? You know, just like this candle would have been a fake out. So as soon as it closes and we get one more candle to close below it, I just take 50% of the breakout candle, which was this next bearish candle that came up. That was my entry. Stop loss is above the high. So this was about a 36, almost about a 37.5 pip stop loss with your spread. And where are the targets? Well, if you just put a fib from low to high, and this is all the scanner does, the 38.2 is take profit 1, the 61.8 is take profit 2. So I wanted to take it to take profit 2 for it to be a 3-to-1. To take profit 1, that would have only have been a 1.5-to-1. I mean, by all means you can, but I still see it coming down for some more downward momentum. But that's how AJ played out if you're going to trade it off the harmonic. So let's go back here. Now AU. Oh, and one other thing that I wanted to just show, if you were looking at it from a divergence standpoint, the indication to me that we were going to see the drop, just by going right, you could just see on the RSI, right? We've definitely making some lower lows and lower highs on the RSI, but we were continuing to push higher. So this just gave me the indication that we were going to go lower, right? We were going to take this lower. You know what? Here we go. Let me do this. Do a little video of myself as well. This showed me that we were going to go lower. I needed to get the confirmations. So on the RSI, right, you could see just we were making a series of higher highs, but we were going lower low on the RSI on the 1 hour. For harmonics, I only trade the 1 hour, right? I don't trade anything lower. Next is AU, right? So AU actually was a pretty good setup. My targets on AU are still down here. I'm in this trade on a lower position. I'm going to hold it over the weekend. Realistically, what I was looking at the start of the week, right? We were pushing up. My target, I couldn't get an entry on a buy. We just moved too quickly. But my targets were these equal highs up here. And once we ran these equal highs, I wanted to go ahead and target these equal lows down here. So I just essentially waited for price to give me some indication that we were going to ultimately just flatten out. And this long candlestick here, it was ultimately off of the weekly time frame, right? This is the weekly right here. And you can see we traded up into the weekly. We closed out some 4-hour imbalance. I did have it on here, but I ended up deleting it. We did have some 4-hour imbalance in here, and there was a gap, right? A gap that ultimately was mitigated out of. So as soon as that happened, it was honestly a wait and see what happens. I did not get, there was let's just go into it. Let's see. On this 45-minute candle, I personally didn't get into this simply because for me, I wanted to break below some sort of structure on that time frame. You know, so if I'm going to trade it off a 45-minute, I want a 45-minute break of structure. We didn't. You know, we did have a 5-minute break of structure, right? You could see the 5-minute broke below, and I believe there was a 15-minute break of structure as well. Yeah, so when this happened and we broke below this was a 15-minute break of structure. But I did not enter off this 45-minute candle here, right? Simply this candle right here. This was the last FU. It ran liquidity. It mitigated the gap. And then we had evidence of selling coming behind it. And all it did was just mitigate out of that candle. Now, where I did get into an entry, right, is as soon as we broke below this last down candle, right, which was, 8, 9 o'clock at night on the 20th, so 2 days ago, that's when I wanted to get a setup. I was trying to find something in here, but in all of the time frames, nothing honestly looked good. So really all I did was I just put a fib on it. And I entered off the 71. I honestly almost didn't even get filled on the order. It went, let's see, I had a 2 pips spread on 1.5 pip spread on AU. So my entry was around 9.5, 9.45. You can see this came up to 9.86. So I had about a 3 pip stop loss. Drawdown. On this entry, my stop was just above the high. So it was relatively about a 20 pip stop. And my targets, again, are just taking it all the way down. I wanted to sweep these areas of liquidity down here, which it did. We just staggered for a while. You could see we're doing the same shenanigans here. I will look for an entry to start the week off somewhere in here, right? I am going to hold this. If we do just drop and I don't get the entry, I don't want to close out. But I do have this that I'm going to hold. I am about 65 pips in profit. I did take 10% off of it. I did take 10% off the trade just to put some money in my pocket. But ultimately, I see this coming down. On the 4-hour time frame, you just look at the line chart, right? 4-hour time frame, we've broken all this structure here. So the next point of structure on the 4 hours down here. So just by measuring from here to here, right? We've got to come at least 50% of this imbalance, right? This entire imbalance. So we need to come at least here. So there is still some downward motion that we're going to see on AU. Whether we retrace and then sell off, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. So now EU, right? EU again, the same shenanigans, man. You should be able to see this harmonic right here. It's a shark pattern. I'll pull it up here. Let's see. Let me just go to harmonics. There's EU. So EU, right? Same thing. It's on the 1 hour. You can see the shark pattern here. Again, from this low to this high, this just kept climbing up and up and up. It wasn't until I finally got this trend line break that I started to actually look for an entry on it. But anyway, targets, the take profit 1 and take profit 2. We are almost at take profit 2. I am out of this trade. I actually almost didn't even get filled on it, but ultimately where I was looking to enter on this, again, this is here's the trend line, right? This was the candle that broke the trend line. I wanted the next candle to stay below the trend line, which it did. And then all I did was just measure. You could see the 50%. The measurement of this candle, 50% came in right here. You should also notice that all it did was just fill in the imbalance created, right? But that was my entry. This was a larger stop. It was about 46 pips. EU for me was like a half of a pip spread, so it wasn't too bad. But you can see it's a TP1, was not even a 1-to-1. So for me, this was a crappier setup. Really wasn't a high ROI off the harmonic, which is not ideally what I like. But we are almost at TP2. And then I don't honestly, I don't see this coming all the way down. This is just a very rangy market on EU, just like the dollar index. So for me, there was no entry on smart money. There was no entry. We did create equal highs. I mean, that may be a potential to strike up and grab that liquidity, but we've also got equal lows sitting here. So your guess is as good as mine. What's going to happen with EU? Odd CHF. Odd CHF. I know Mike Correa was looking at this, and we had some equal highs. Wanted to take it off of this 1 hour candle. 50% of that. I'm sorry, off the 4 hour candle. 50% of that. You can see we just kind of lingered here. It was a relatively small stop on a 4 hour candle. It was only about 18. Do I use the harmonics to look for setups? If it's present, yeah, I will. I honestly, I haven't done it in a very long time, just because I kind of was just trading for myself. But like I said, there's some newer folks in our team, so I'm trying to give them some more assistance to get some more setups and whatnot. So I definitely jump on there every now and then, and if there's a setup that I like, and there were a couple of them, you just need to be patient with it. So anyway, odd CHF, you could see we reject this sucker, right? Good rejection, came down 62 pips and then just came right back to break even. I personally didn't trade this just because I thought AU was the better setup. But you can see we've honestly just built liquidity on both sides. And for me, honestly, I would have been I would have been at break even. I wouldn't be in this trade still. Targets are still down here. I mean, it was a relatively nice setup. It was an 8-to-1 ROI. But it just, to me, it's just sideways. The Australian dollar just doesn't, I think it's, at this point, it's just too strong. And it's fighting against other fundamentals right now. AN is another setup that I was watching. I did take a sell. I did take a sell in here, and I sold it down to this area here. It was just a quick 0.5% or a half lot that I did take. But ultimately, I'm looking for the buy. I mean, you can see AN is ultimately, in an uptrend. I am looking for the buy. I want to find something in here that I'm looking at. There may be an opportunity to take a buy off of this green line right here, which is like, I think off the 15-minute. I didn't label it, but yeah, there it is right there. Maybe the 30. I'd have to look. I'm honestly not a huge odd NZD fan. I do like to watch it because it gives you an idea which is the stronger currency, right? You can obviously tell Australian was stronger than New Zealand going into it, so that's why like NU was for me a better sell than AU. But we definitely have just been coming down to mitigate out of this candle, so that's the only reason I took this sell. Once I saw some evidence, break of structure, and you should be able to see it right here. So once this happened, right, and we broke below here, all this was a mitigation play. I personally didn't take the mitigation up here. I got in off a smaller time frame off of this candle here and just wrote it down. And then I took it right here as well. This was one of the entries I took. 50% of this last candle that came up to mitigate out. My stop loss was right above the high, so it was about a 7 pip stop loss, and all I did was just take it to right here. Took it right to here to these equal lows. So this was a nice 6-to-1 off of that candle. It was relatively quick. I didn't send this out just because this was I didn't feel real confident in it. I just took it because I saw what I saw, and I was like, all right, we'll play off of it. There may be another entry depending on what happens, but these equal highs are going to be targets. And then of course you've got these equal highs up here, right? That's where a bunch of liquidity is. Where's the money? Just got to find out where the money is. You'll know where the institutions are going to gun for. Euro odd. I sent this out. I personally didn't take the trade just because this happened. When did we get in here? This happened last night, London session. At this point in the week, I wasn't looking to get into any more Forex pairs. If you did take this may have stopped you out by half a pip, depending on your broker's price. But ultimately it accomplished what it was supposed to do. Grab this liquidity and then come down and drop, off of this H1 candle. Price did come down almost 70 pips. But at this point, I'm not looking at EA just because I am looking for the Australian dollar to weaken, but I'm also looking for the US dollar to strengthen, which would be like negative, like double negatives on the side. So I really don't have a clear direction on EA. Had this setup happen, maybe, I don't know, the day before, like when we were here and popped up and dropped, absolutely. When when Australian dollar was definitely in a bearish momentum. CAD JPY, sucker, man. This infuriated me, this one. There was two setups. There was one on the scanner. I'll look at the scanner as well. The scanner setup was pretty nice. You literally were in this for hours and hours and hours and hours. But, obviously I was looking at this. I wanted to see price just jump up. There was a nice 45-minute candle I was looking at right here. I was going to take it off the open, and this would have been a nice ROI. I could have actually have dropped the stop loss to right about like 10 pips. This would have been a really, really nice ROI. But it never did pop up and grab that liquidity, which tells me that this is going to continue bullish, right? This is going to continue bullish. I did have an area I'm looking at down here for a buy. I believe it might be off the 4. Yeah, it's off the 4 hour. This is the setup I'm looking for next week. If we can get down here, I want to take this up. And I want to take it up even more now because of these equal highs that are sitting right up here. This is going to be a nice pool of liquidity to jump into. And I'll be looking to also take it up into here. We've got a lot of sell orders that are sitting here that are going to be pretty nice to target. Now on the scanner side, here's the scanner right here. You can see it was pretty nice. It was a shark pattern. It did break the trend right here. And again, what were my confirmations, right? So my confirmations were candle needs to close. The next candle needs to close below the trend line, which it did. And then you can see on the 1 hour, right? We already did have the parabolic SAR. So stop loss, the way the setup for me would have worked, if you have a buy, how do I take structure into consideration? I don't know. If you have a mic, just unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to disturb you. So for instance, you know that buy setup that you had, or just any buy setup in general?
Yeah, right here. Sure,
Um,
sure.
yeah, so you see how price uh, is currently, oh no, probably not. This is where I get a bit confused. Like if price is coming down, like is in a downtrend to towards your entry,
Yeah.
if you get what I mean, is that still like a valid buy because it's going against structure? But in this example, it's not, because it'll still be uptrend.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. No, that's why. So for here, this is the play I'm looking at, because if we break, right, if we break below down here, then it's a break of structure, you know. So I'm not looking. Yeah, that's it's either I'm gonna win the trade, or it's gonna be a loss, and we're gonna be bearish, you know.
Okay, but if you had like a buy entry below the, you know, the bit where you've got the yellow box.
Sure. Here. No, I'm not. Yeah, this
Yeah.
was a setup I personally was looking at for this, and it just didn't happen. So now eventually there is drawdown. What an institution is in drawdown here, they are going to have to
Yeah.
mitigate out of this. But for me, I'm not willing to take a buy down here until I see some other evidence that we're going to be bullish afterwards. If that makes sense.
Okay, so would you wait for like a break in structure just to confirm that you're on like an uptrend then to take the buy down?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep. Anyway, going back to the harmonic, right? Entry, this was the candle that broke. Next candle did close below the trend line. You could see we already were at 50%. So for me, it was pretty simple. I was just going to take the entry on CJ, you know, literally right there. Stops were, you know, the stop was pretty big, you know, from the previous high up here. So it was about a 50 pip stop. And then you could see take profit 2 is sitting right here. It did hit take profit 2. You know, so it was about a 1.5 ROI. Again, not a great return on investment that I typically like. You know, but for newer traders that are trading, you know, this gave all the, you know, all the clear cut signs, you know, to at least be profitable somewhat. You know, 1.5% is 1.5%. You know, it's I'm not going to turn down money. You know, but it was a pretty nice setup. I still do potentially like to see some downward. You know, obviously because I want to buy it from here. So I do see some more movement down. You know, the yen pairs, the yen crosses were just so strong because the yen was entirely weak this week. You know, and on Tuesday's call when I looked at it, the yen was just dropping. Where is, there we go. Let's look at the yen futures. So yeah, if you look at the yen futures, right, start the week off, I mean, we literally just came down and we swept the liquidity, which is what I was looking at. So now I'm looking to get some more movement up. I want to at least fill in some of this here. So we should be seeing some of the JPY pairs going bearish to start next week off. That was CAD, JPY, EuroCAD. So I did take a trade on EuroCAD last night. I did have my trailing stop and I got stopped out in profit. You know, I did want to see us target up here, but we may not get it yet. I don't think it's ready yet. Just to go back to the trade setup that I was looking at, the basis I had behind it, let me just go to the 15-minute. The basis I had behind it, right? We had an area of equal lows. That's where the money's at, right? Support, retail support. Price came down and grabbed this liquidity to take it higher. And after doing that, right? It went ahead and broke structure, came back to mitigate 50% out of this candle, right? So what I personally was looking at was that I got into this trade here. Stop loss was just below, so it was about a 17 pip stop loss is what I was looking at. And you can see price did give about a 3.5 to 1 ROI before coming back down. I got out. I don't know. I had a trailing stop. It was a 20 pip trailing stop. So I got out 20 pips from this top here is where somewhere during the evening, my broker got me out. So I got out in here. You know, it still was a decent, you know, 2 to 1 ROI. price just came right back down, created equal lows, and then grabbed the liquidity. So for right now, I mean, I do have this 15-minute candle that I'm also looking at right here. Potentially maybe another buy opportunity down in here. You know, we definitely, you know, could also see these areas swept. And then I have this 1 hour down here that I'm looking at. You know, I'm just going to be patient. I'm not going to rush it. I mean, ultimately, I just like USD Swiss franc, I know where we're going to eventually go, which is these equal highs. It's just a matter of, you know, obviously if price comes all the way down here, the better, because I can really, really get a nice ROI on it. I mean, even if I took it off the 1 hour, I mean, this would be a ridiculous ROI. I mean, we're talking an 11-to-1 ROI, you know, just by swinging this up. UCAD was another good setup that we had. I was really disappointed when I got this alert this morning, just because I wanted to sell UCAD from up here, this daily candle, right? UCAD is bearish. You know, we've been selling it all week, or also for the last 2 weeks, but you should be able to see we are ultimately just creating lower highs, lower high, lower high. You know, we are bearish. We are, you know, I'm looking to take this sucker down into here. We do have a lot of imbalance in here that needs to get mitigated. So that's ultimately what I am looking for on UCAD. I didn't want this to happen today because I wanted to get into an entry, but I was fortunate enough to buy it up. You know, I sent this out in the chats. We were looking, again, we had some equal, I think it was a 30-minute. Let's see, 30 minute. Okay. So we had some equal lows, right? Price gave those fake outs that it was going up. And this is exactly what I'm looking at. This is a perfect example of what I look for. You know, what are traders doing right here? They're buying, right? Because look, we have evidence of buying. It's a support. Institutions come down, jam this sucker down. This was the FU candle to grab liquidity. Immediately afterwards, we have evidence of buying, right? So from there, as soon as I've identified this candle, it's a matter of finding an entry now to take this sucker up. So I went off the 30-minute. They actually mitigated out. I think it was like a 1 or a 2-minute candle that they mitigated out of. Bear with me here. Yeah, it was either a 1 or a 2-minute candle that they mitigated out of. I do believe it was this candle right here. I'm going to see right now. But I just didn't want to miss this move, so I was willing to take a higher entry off of it. Hey, what's up, bud? We were just talking about Odd Chef of yours. So anyway, that was where I was looking on UCAD. Let me just see if that's where they took it off of. Yeah, there it is right there. So this lower line right here, this was the 1 minute, right? The 1 minute came right down to here. So this would have been a ridiculous ROI. I just didn't want to take a 1 minute. Right, so stops just below that. So you're looking at a 3-pip stop. Is ultimately what you were looking at taking. Again, I personally didn't want to take it off the 1 minute just because I didn't want to miss the trade. You know, if it only went off of the 15-minute, that would have sucked and I wouldn't have got anything, you know. But just taking this right back up to these highs would have been a 25-to-1. So even on a half lot size, if you used a half lot, I mean, you were looking at 12.5%. You know, on a 1% lot, you were looking at 25% making it on this setup. Again, I took it off of here. Ultimately, my targets, right? My targets were these highs right here. I took it right up to this previous high. Ended up getting out somewhere here. So I made about 6% on this setup, and then this setup here gave another. This is the one that I sent out as well. This one here was off of the 15-minute. right? The 15-minute. And, oh, I deleted the wrong candle or wrong wick. There you go. This was the setup, the second setup that I took. Stops just below, right? So it was about a 5 pip. And again, I wasn't trying to get greedy. What I was looking at was just taking it right back up. I did want to see if we were going to get up to like the 1.400 level, but all I did was just take it right back up to these highs. You know, this is counter trend. I wasn't looking to get anything crazy. Again, I took a half lot size on this, so I made 6% off of this, but this was a 12-to-1 ROI just by mitigating out of that candle. And then ultimately you can see I was looking for another entry down here. I was looking for another entry right here off the 5-minute. Right in here, that was the candle I was looking to play off of. And the reason I was looking for it is because we were rejecting this area of liquidity here, right? So when we were doing this, I wanted to see if we could come down, and I was just, this potentially was going to be the one that was going to take us up to the 1.400 level, where I wanted to see this imbalance mitigated out of, you know. It just didn't happen, so, you know, whatever. I took my earnings from UCAD, what it gave me, and, you know, ultimately I'm hoping to revisit this area up here so we could sell it down, because I do believe we are going to take these lows next week on UCAD. All right. I didn't take anything on Euro. GU didn't happen for us, right? I was looking to take a trade here. This was the candle I want to play off of, right? This last up candle right here. We had an area of equal highs, some liquidity sitting right here, beautiful setup. I wanted to see a pop, and then we would sell it down to at least take this liquidity and at least come into this zone here. It didn't happen. You know, it is what it is. The US dollar pairs really just kind of fluttered for me this week, but luckily there was some other stuff we got. I didn't have anything on UJ, and of course, US dollar Swiss franc. Like I said, these were going to get taken. You know, we just didn't have an entry on it. Odd CAD was another one that just gave us a lot of fits. I broke out even on it. You know, I was looking to play it off of here. There was a harmonic on it. I personally didn't take it just because, I mean, you could, this is just sideways. There's a lot of consolidation. And this made me laugh. So Tuesday night when EJ did this, right, I said, no, we're going to get these highs taken because we had this imbalance up here, right? We had this imbalance on the 4-hour. So what I was looking for was price to come up, sweep the highs, take liquidity, mitigate out. And then I wanted to see a break of structure. I wanted to come down, break of structure, take the mitigation play, and then drop down. And you can see, right, we did get that. We finally got the break of structure, you know, these 1 hours, right? We broke structure, but we never came back to mitigate out. There was a harmonic on EJ, right? There was a harmonic on EJ that I sent out to some people. This was the harmonic. All right, let me clean it up. This was the harmonic. Really nice. I think it was a Gartley or a butterfly. Really nice pattern. And if you're trading off the harmonic again, right? So from the low to the high, take profit 1, take profit 2. You can see the trend line I had, right? Trend line I had. This was the break. Candle broke. Next candle closed below it. All I did was measure this candle right here, 50%. That was the entry. Stop loss was above here. So about a 40 pip stop. Entry I wanted to get right here. It came what? 8 pips from entry. And you could see, you know, already past take profit 1. I personally was going to take it to right here because we do have a potential institutional candle right here. That's where I was going to take it to for a 3.5 to 1 ROI, but we never got there. But the scanner did call the EJ setup. You just had to be patient on it and just wait for the confirmations. Let's see, NU was another one. You could see this was the setup I had on NU, right? Because we did break structure. As soon as we broke structure on this 1 hour, right? I was looking to mitigate up. And we definitely did break structure. You could see we're downwards now. The 4 hour, we broke below the 4 hour structure point. So this still may be in play. You know, I may look Sunday when we open, if we do get up into this candle, right? Because this is the last mitigation play. If we do get up into this candle, I'd be willing to take it. You know, it's about an 18 pip stop. And we have a lot and lots of areas down below to go to. Do I think we could come all the way down here? Absolutely. You know, this would be a nice, you know, what, 12 and a half to 1 ROI. So that's ultimately what I'm looking at. On NU. EN just still hasn't happened. I'm looking at an entry here, but I'll look next week. I'm not too worried. Now GJ was a nice setup. I'll go to the harmonic. We actually traded this off the harmonic, right? GJ was another one, a shark pattern, right? From the high to low. I just had, you know, it started out here, then it came up to here. So you just had to be patient on it. You know, I waited, let me drag this out here. I waited for this to finally break. It gave me some confluence, right? Because we had divergence, right? You could see we made some higher highs here, but we're making lower lows. We're printing lower lows on the RSI. The only thing I care about on the RSI is just divergence. I don't really pay attention if it's overbought or oversold. But you can see we definitely got the break, right? We got the break here. And here was the break. Let's see. I took the entry here. I'm just trying to think why I took the entry there. You know, we definitely got the break somewhere in here. And I think it was just because it just was of the indecision. And then once price broke down and revisited this area, I think I ultimately just took an entry in here. Market executed. Stops were just above the high right here, so about 40 pips. And I was looking.
Sorry, Mike.
What's up?
Hello. Can I just ask? Sorry again.
Yeah.
In example, so you know how it's going from it's in an uptrend from C to like point D, sort of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's in an uptrend. So for your potential entry that you've got there, so you waited for price to break that structure when it came below the last higher low?
So
taking that.
So yeah. So here, watch. We'll go over here. So let me ask you this: on the daily time frame, is GJ bullish or bearish?
Well, I'd like to say bearish.
Yep. 100%.
But then if you
No.
that kink.
No. Yeah, it's bearish, right? Higher high. I'm sorry, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right?
Okay. So you're not counting that bit in the middle.
This thing
That
here.
Yeah.
No. That's, to me, this is a nothing. I mean, that's, if you look at the candles, right? Look at the candles on it. Right? Do you see? So here's your lower high, makes a lower low, lower high, lower low, right? I'm not counting this, you know? So yeah, so we're bearish on the daily, you know. On the 4 hour, what are we on the 4 hour? We are bearish, you know. We are here.
Yeah.
You know, we are bearish. Now, we did break this structure here on the 4 hour, okay? But ultimately, this is the swing point. This is the swing high. So until we break above this, we're still bearish, you know. So the setup for me was, you know, was right on. You know, I was walking this down all, you know, for the past, you know, month. I've been walking it down. So when the harmonic, when the harmonic got printed, for me, it's just a matter of wait for the trend line to break. You know, the scanner's already calling out the pattern. It's got a priced reversal pattern being printed. Just wait for the confirmation, you know. You know, and that's how I played it. So wait for the trend line, wait for the SAR flip. You know, you know what? That's where I got entered. Yeah, so I waited for the SAR flip. So you can see we broke the trend line. SAR flipped right here, and as soon as I got the flip, which happened like right in here, I entered. Because you could see as soon as it breaks that SAR ball, the SAR will flip. By the time my market executed price was around here, and I'm personally on the harmonic side, I would take it to take profit too. But going into next week, I'm going to be looking for an entry somewhere in here, and I'm taking it lower.
Okay,
If
thank
that
you.
makes sense. Yep, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So that was pretty much the currency pairs. I'm going to look at the indexes too. The Dow's going to my spot. I'll tell you right now, mark my words. Mike, you're on here, 24,500. It's going to hit 24,500 before the end of the day. I guarantee you. It's going to sweep this.
I don't know if I'm going to enter though.
No. Well, I'm out. I took my profits and I'm out, but I still,
Same.
yeah, I'm not selling it, bro. Not on a Friday, but it is still nice to see. Hey, I don't know if you guys paid attention to oil, but I got an alert on oil. I had an alert on this here this morning. Where's my oil? What time did it come out? Oh, wait, down here. Let's see. I guess maybe because I deleted it, I already pulled it out. I guess so. I don't know. I got an alert sometime, whatever, last night. I got the alert that it swept the highs, and this was just a perfect entry. I had a small lot on FX Choice, like it was like a 0.10 lot. It was nothing, and I had my stop loss was down here just because I wanted to just catch this move if it happened. So I mean, I only made like $60 on it, but it was still worth like it was awesome. Perfect example of what would happen. Swept the liquidity, right? Had a ton of lows right here. We swept the liquidity, went perfectly into the open of this down candle, and moved 235 pips.
$60 is $60.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, without a doubt. And it was one of the, I'll tell you right now, I set this, when did I set this? I set this back in here somewhere, probably like 3 days ago. I put that in there, and it was just one of those that I was like, I'll let it ride. But yeah, oil played out pretty nice. And that's honestly what gave us that catalyst to get the Canadian pairs kind of moving. So this got UCAD to shoot up, and obviously this is going to be going higher. My targets on oil, not that I have been trading it a lot, but obviously my targets, this, even though on this broker here, it's a candle, but this is a gap, right? This is a gap on the futures market. So this is going up there. I didn't trade gold. To me, gold, I mean, look at the daily. Gold has just been really, really sideways for me. But we did have some, I did partake in, let me delete this. I did partake in this bad boy, right? Look at that, beautiful. I did partake down in here, and you can see it's already given us a beautiful, beautiful catalyst for next week that we should get these highs ran, and these are going to be targets to sell off. It's just a matter, I've got a 5-minute candle in here that I'm looking at. This is the 2-hour candle right here, 50% of this 2-hour candle right here. This is where we rejected off of to begin the sell off. And I know I shared that chart in the group of the divergence, where US 30 was making lower lows, and NAS and SPX was going sideways, and NAS was making a higher high. So remember, on divergence, when you're at the higher end of a range, whichever one is printing the lower low, that's the leader. So US 30 was actually the leader in indicating we were going to get the sell off. And then, so once we get down to a bottom range, right? Like when we were down here, I want to say, when we were down here, NAS was just the leader. NAS was printing higher highs and higher lows from the, from the bottom end of it. So that's how we kind of knew that they were going to buy up. I'm still pretty confident that, that we are going to take, these highs at least, right? These highs are going to get taken, and these highs are going to get taken, but I'm curious to see if we're going to sell off from this 5-minute candle. You could see this is the last point, right? The last point where institutions are in drawdown on this buy. So they are going to have to mitigate out of it. And I mean, if you take it from the open, If you take it from the open, you're looking at a 49 pip or 49 point stop loss. If you take it from 50% of that, you're looking at 25 points. So I'm not 100% confident on which one I'm going to take yet. Obviously, if I may just kind of go and see if it's got a lot of steam into it, I'll go off the 50%. If it starts to die down, I'll just go off the open. But it's a phenomenal ROI. If you go from the open, right? If you go to the open and we targeted these equal lows right here, I mean, that's an 11 to 1. You're in the buy now. Okay. Yeah. I got out. I got into a buy here, and then I got, what candle was that? Was that a 5-minute candle? I said,
I think it was the 15-minute, wasn't it?
15. Let's see. Yeah, it was the 15. So I got in this, and I just trailed my stop. It was a tight stop. I mean, what was it? 18? Yeah, 18 points. So 18-point stop loss. At the most, it was almost a 7 to 1. I ended up taking right when it came back about 50%. So I ended up walking away with that right there. It was about like 2.5%. That's where I got out.
I'm in a Mike. This is Fritz.
Oh, you are?
I'm up,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up. I've scaled most of it off, but I'm up over 10% on it. So I went in the same place you did.
Yeah, no, it was a perfect entry. I mean, I had this, I saw this area here, but I figured we were going to get a little deeper pullback, and we did. I mean, it was a perfect entry on that. And then all this was, I think it was a 1 minute. Did you get in on the second one, Mike? No, it was a.
Yeah, I got it on the second one.
What was it, a 1 minute, or I guess it was off the second? It had to have been off the second, because even off the one.
No, it was a 1 minute.
Was it? I don't know. In here though, this is what this was.
The right there where we just had your arrow, that last down 1 minute right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it off that.
Oh, you got it. Oh yeah, look at that, man. That thing was beautiful. Damn, I didn't even see that. I was done. I was done for the. I mean, what time did this happen? This happened at. Yeah, I was playing. Dude, let me tell you. So people will make fun of me on PlayStation Network, right? Because I have a son who plays PlayStation. PlayStation Network, if you're a member, right, which I am, you get free games all the time. So I downloaded this farm simulator where you drive tractors and you like I was just cropping or I just seeding a field, and I'm cultivating canola and dropping it off. So it's my woo-saw now. Like everyone, my wife makes fun of me because I sit there, just drive a tractor, in cruise control, seeding fields and cultivating them and driving stuff around. So yeah, I was doing that just because it gave me some woo-saw moments. But yeah, this was a freaking awesome. Look at that, damn, 20 pip. So I mean, you'd be looking at right now, a 7 to 1. Yeah, that is pretty nice. I didn't even see that 1 minute. Yeah, I don't know. The Dow to me this week was by far the better. It was just cleaner. It gave a lot cleaner plays. I didn't even touch the NAS this week. I mean, look at the NAS. The NAS broke these lows. Now it did take the highs too, right? You could see it did take the highs where SPX did not. So this is the only thing I'm a little kind of worried about with, granted, I mean, there's nothing to say SPX can't break these highs and the Dow not. But I would be still interested in looking at this 5-minute candle here. Where is it? Yeah, this 5-minute candle in here. I'm still interested in looking at it on the S&P to see what happens. If we get a nice reaction, and just remember, so even if you miss the first move, there should be, I mean, like UCAD gave me 2 other opportunities to scale in positions. Just you could still sit there and scale in the positions. There's not a it's not really difficult to do it in. Oh, you know what? Real quick. So we talked about EJ, CJ, EU. We talked about AJ. So AJ was another one on the harmonics. Same thing. 1 hour time frame. I waited for the candle here. Break. Took 50% of that candle. Here was my entry. We talked about GJ. OddCat, I didn't trade anymore. And then NJ was the same thing. NJ, NJ didn't happen just because this was the candle that broke. I waited for the second one here. And I kind of wanted, even though 50% would have brought me close to this trend line, you can see on here, all that happened, right, is it just mitigated this candle. So this candle's been mitigated out of, and it did drop, it did drop. So I still see NJ coming down though. NJ's coming down to like this area here. But yeah, pretty much, I mean, that was it for the week. It was a slow week to start off again. But you just gotta be patient. Patience is everything. Victor, what did you? I know you caught an EU sell. What else?
Oh man, hold on. Now I have to. There was setups on. There's several. Didn't catch all of them, but there's 5 in total: CAD JPY, CAD Chef, Euro CAD, Euro JPY, and Euro USD. Those were the.
I know you weren't on when I did CAD JPY, man, but I so wanted this right here. This is what I waited. How long did I wait, bro? I waited 3 days, I think, for this thing.
Yeah, so CAD JPY on the test there. I see you have that marked up.
Where? Which one?
Test,
oh,
test of the high. The test of the high.
Right. Yeah.
There, that was the entry. I had like all the entry points from way back when marked up, and it perfectly came in. It was just beautiful.
Yeah. I really wanted this. This is what I was waiting on, man, and it just
would have been really nice.
It just didn't get it. I mean, and same thing like GU. EU, I didn't really get into, but where's GU? GU, man, I wanted this right here, dude. It was a 30-minute candle right here. Dude, I wanted that. I wanted to pop up and then drop, and we didn't get it. We didn't get it. It took these lows, but you could see, I mean, we've got some nice liquidity here.
You're still in GU?
No. I never got in. I wanted the entry right here. This is the entry I wanted,
You never got an entry off of that higher high there?
This one here, I did, but I closed out at the equal lows. So that's yeah. I took it. What was it? Let me see. Which candle was it? I took it. Maybe it was a 15-minute candle. Let me see. I got in here. This is where I got in. But I just took it to these equal lows, all these equal lows right here. So when we came here, I got out just because at this point DXY was being stupid. So I mean, it was something like I think it was something like a 12 pip stop, and I took it to like here, So I mean, this was it was like a 5-1 that I took.
It's been a good week overall. I mean.
No, it was, and this exactly for everybody else. When, I mean, I struggled, and I still was. Like this week, I was being a little baby about it. Like I was just frustrated how everything was just so slow and sideways. But I mean, if time in and time, I mean, how many weeks have we said, just wait till Wednesday or Thursday. You're going to get 1 or 2 trade setups that are going to be like 10-1 ROI. You're going to make your 10-15%. And you're going to be happy, I was happy this morning when I had this Dow entry when I got up to stretch this morning. I got in here around like 24, like 196 was it was actually this candle right here was my entry, right around like 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. And I set it immediately, when it's just a profit, I just put it at break even. When I woke up at like 8 this morning, we were up here, we were up here. So, I took 50% off and caught another entry here, closed both of them out there. I was hoping that we would get up to here, but it's again, don't rush anything, just let it play out. That's kind of why I started trading some of the harmonics, especially, for new people on their team. I can send out the harmonic. Hey, just wait for the break, wait for the star cross. You can catch, 1-2%, off the trade. And it'll be relatively, some profits. I personally, for the harmonics, it's got to be worth it. I'm not doing a harmonic trade for a 1-to-1 ROI, but for me, it's got to be at least a 1-to-3. So I'll take it a TP2 if it makes sense. Yeah. So what else did you get into, Victor? You said what? Bro, you got your screen up? I'll just give you the thing. You can share it. Let's see. Hold on. Am I using smart money with the scanner? I am, but I'm not. So, I mean, I am, like I can show you, like hold on, bear with me here. Let me go to like, perfect example, right? So like on CJ, right? CJ, I wanted to enter, I mean, pretty much off the same area. I wanted these sweep of the highs to come out. When I look left, I look for areas that I'm looking to target. So like I said, on CJ, the scanner started down here, I wasn't going to take an entry, over there until the trend line break, but I knew that we had some equal highs up here. I do incorporate it. I just don't, I'm personally not paying too much attention to it as far as crunching down the stop loss. Because I don't want, I do the harmonics so that some of the newer traders can get some experience in trading and understanding some of the concepts, but I'm not looking for like a 6 pip stop on a harmonic. I realistically, I'm getting it, at the high is the stop loss. If I can crunch it, I'll crunch it down. But for the most part, I'm not, using smart money to, to find the entry. I'm using it more to give me the confluence on the harmonic. And then I'll trade the other account, my smart money account, where I'll crunch down. And, a perfect example was, what was it? GJ, I think. On GJ, I found an entry in here off smart money where instead of a 40 pip stop, I only had a 12. So if that makes sense. I don't know. Victor, you there, bro? Or we lose you?
I'm here.
Hey, you want to share your screen and show what you got?
Yeah, sure, good.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You got it, man. You got it. Let's see what you got, man.
Right.
Yeah, because that was pretty much everything I had. I honestly, I didn't take a lot of trades, man. I think I only took 5 or 6 currency trades, and then I took 2 S&P and the oil, and then 3 Dow. That's pretty much all I took.
For currencies, it was basically CJ, CAD Chef, Euro CAD, Euro JPY, Euro USD, and then these just didn't come into to entries for me. Over here, this was very simple. I just basically, what I was looking for is, what I started doing recently is I started finding wicks. Like I'll find wicks, and if I can go back in time and I can drop it down to like a 3-minute, 2-minute, 1-minute time frame, I'll find imbalances inside those wicks and points of interest, and I'll just mark them up. So what I did here is I marked it up, and it came into these 2 points of entry, but it didn't break structure. Now, if I pull it down to the 5-minute, on the 5-minute, it came past my point of entry here, wicked it, and then what it did here is it broke structure. I don't know if you could see it. My screen's pretty big. I don't know if everybody else can see it. But right there, so point of interest, takes it and breaks structure on the 5-minute in 2 places. Mitigation comes up, there's an imbalance on the 5-minute, take it off the top of the imbalance, put my stop loss right above the wick. 12 pips, 12 point stop loss, and basically I have targets that are lower. At this point, it's sitting at, where am I? About 10 to 1. That's what I have on CJ. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, bro. We got you.
CAD Chef, very similar, same thing. I marked out an entry from these 2 points of interest, so I wasn't sure where it was going to come in. I was just watching the time. This was on Tuesday. Came into it. I had the stop loss right above the wick. Same thing. Found it inside the wick. Right in here, there was a nice imbalance in here, and I mean, these are just gorgeous. When you see this and then you see the drop, you know they're coming back to mitigate out of these positions. So same thing, mitigation play.
Hey, are you holding CJ over the weekend?
At the moment, yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'm looking at those 2 buy entries down below too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah. I think it's going to go lower. So this was same thing. We had liquidity. I marked this up a while ago. I mean, this was about a week ago. So we had this liquidity. I knew we were going to sweep it. I just wasn't sure where we were going to stop. So I marked up both of these points of interest here. And then what happened is we took off. We mitigated a little bit. I just pulled the trigger on it. And I said, you know what, screw it. We didn't break structure, but the stop loss was really small. I took the risk and it paid off. This one's already closed, this position here. ECAD was a pain in the ass. You were buying it. I was trying to sell it. I had a Wyckoff on it, so I was kind of like, no, this thing's gonna sell. I mismarked it originally with my up thrust and my up thrust after distribution. Anyways, so that's what it did. This is where you caught your 50 pips, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ended up taking it because you were up right around the time when it was up here.
Well, so I personally, dude, because I had on forex.com, you can do the trailing stop. So I just had the trailing stop going. So I caught, I don't remember if it was a 15 or 20 pip trailing stop, but yeah, I mean, I caught a good percentage off of it. It was a tight stop loss. So it was, to me, even the 50 pips I caught was worth it.
Yeah. Well, I closed it out. I closed it out in profit, but my targets are here. These were my targets. These equal lows here are my targets.
I got you.
Here, and I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to go up a lot. But I think they're just going to need a little more thrust before they're going to, take it higher.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the 4 hour and you'll see those equal highs, it's like a 300 pip move. So I didn't want to, I was willing to risk the 1% in case that was the move to go 300 pips, because it's going to be something like a 25 to 1 ROI. So it's got ways to go. I don't know if you remember, but when you and I were talking, and we were talking about this position, because what happened is they grabbed liquidity right here. This is where we entered first time around. Do you remember this? Yeah, I remember that.
They came back down, and I think we all got stopped out at break even. Oh no, we took profits right here. Sorry, I'm not used to paying attention to other people paying attention. So yeah, we entered here, and then, we entered here. It took off for a little bit. Oh, hold on. This is, where did we enter? Where were our positions? We got in here. Oh, we got in here, took off to here, and then it came back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it took off again. So I think we're going to come back a little bit, and I think we're going to take out this high right here, and potentially even higher, because we are super. These are discounted levels, very discounted.
Yeah, no, I agree. We, like I said, I didn't want to miss the move to take it up, but we potentially, and I agree, with those equal lows right there, your signs of weakness. There's 2 equal lows right there that would be an awesome place to find entry. Actually, what is that? Is that what time frame?
Right now, 4 hour.
Yeah, look at that. Look at just below the sign of weakness. Look at that last down candle.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, to your left. Go to your left. Yeah. I see. I didn't even see the wick there, man. Okay. My bad. I got you. Yeah,
I-
there's in that wick there is where we got to find our entry. That would be my guess.
So I'm thinking it's going to be either inside this wick, and that's what I'm going to mark it up as, inside this wick, or it's going to be this huge imbalance over here somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. You know,
We're just
this
start.
and this, I tell you what, this is a great chart, especially for like newer traders. So I can't predict where the market is going to, where the institution that is in drawdown is going to mitigate out, and then we're going to take the market up, right? So for me, I understand that I'm possibly going to lose a trade on it. So that one wick, the top wick, I'm going to risk 1%. I don't care. I'll risk 1% on that trade. And if I lose it, I know that the next area that I'm going to get is that imbalanced area. I'm going to risk 1% on that. And then I'm going to make 35, 40% back when it goes all the way up to the highs. So, I'm not afraid to lose it. And that's one of the biggest things that I had to struggle with when I was learning to trade in the beginning.
Oh, dude, I struggle with it every day still. My worst enemy. It's so difficult. The psychology of it is just incredibly difficult to do.
Yep. It
Beat
is.
you up.
It is. But you know what? That's how you got to think about it, man. You got to think about it. For me, and you hear me say it all the time, like I just don't want to miss the move. So I'll risk a percent. To me, 1% is nothing. You know what I mean? Even it doesn't matter if you have $1 million account, a $50,000 account, or a $500 account. 1% to you should be nothing. It's 1%, especially the way that we're catching percentages every week. Realistically, I can't tell you the last time that just go back and look at your stats, but I can't tell you the last time it was less than a 15% week, so for me, 1% is nothing. I will risk 1% all day long, because I know that by Friday afternoon, when I'm looking at, because I'm going to do my journal right after this, when I'm doing my journaling, I know that it's 15% plus every week. Just because of the setups that, we're not forcing anything. We're taking our time, and we're, I think for the most part, the majority of us that are trading the smart money stuff now in our group, we have a good understanding of it. I think it's mostly now mindset, and just sometimes it's a little bit of patience,
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I mean, to me, it's mindset over everything right now, because I feel like, hey, the skills are, it's like, once you understand, how Jordan always says fractal, everything is fractal in the market. Like, they always do the same thing. You see it once, you see it twice, you see it 1,000 more times. It's the same thing. But the mind is where it really starts to mess with you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. It does, man. Let's see. Wait, do you guys look, what is the wick on the lower time? Do you guys look? Yeah, no, absolutely. On that entry, like once it gets closer, like if you notice how like I mark up the charts, like I literally start at the 4 hour and I work down every time frame to the left until I find the candle that I'm looking for in that wick. Like I'll highlight the wick, and I look into that time frame. That's how I determine where my entry is. I need to see the signs, that point where the institution is in drawdown at that point, and then we're going to go from there. So yeah, even going down to majority of the entries are potentially the 1, 2, 3, the 6 minute, that's where I look at the candles.
Yeah. It's basically find your overall bias and direction on the higher time frame, and then look for entries on the lower time frame.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you could find, like, I think we took a trade last week off a 4 hour candle, but it was only like a 20 pip stop. So I was like, hey, listen, if I'll tell you right now, if there's ever a 4 hour candle that gives me an entry with a 20 pip stop, I am taking that 4 hour candle every day of the week. The higher the time frame, the more, I think, the more confluence you have, because it's a higher time frame bias. But most of the time, like, UCAD, I could have taken a UCAD trade today off that daily 50%, but my stop loss is like 63 pips. I'm not taking a 63 pip stop loss, but if I could find it on a daily time frame with a 20 pip stop loss all day, I'll take it.
The odd pairs have been good for that 4 hour 20 pip stop loss.
Yeah.
Especially odd chef.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was. Odd chef. Yeah. Odd chef, and actually odd CAD gave a great entry, but then it just went 30 some pips and then right back to break even. So you know, and I kind of gave up on the stupid thing. You know, that's one of the things that you may like. You'll see me now, like if a pair's just acting stupid, you know what? Off my watch list, deleted. You know, move on to the next one. I'm not fighting, you know, pairs anymore. You know, if you know, I might miss the trade. Sure, I might miss the trade. You know, but if it doesn't look 100% super clean, I'm not going to take it. You know, realistically, just from what I know about my personal self, I really only need 2 setups for the week. You know, 2 setups. You know, because if each one of our setups, we're getting, you know, at minimum a 1 to 5. You know, I mean, some of these are like 1 to 14, 1 to 18. You know, I'll be honest, on a 1% risk, you know, 18% for me, I'm good. You know, unless something is like tied in a bow tie and you know, gift wrapped, and if it's not that pretty, I'm not going to take it. You know, just because, especially if I get it quick in the week. You know, let's see. Wait, Bonnie, then somehow missed the next move. Oh, I got you, Bonnie. Yeah, I mean, you just have to. Here's my recommendation, right? This is what I do, right? I literally I think of it like a football game book, you know, like a playbook, right? So I sit there and I'm like, all right. The first question I ask is, where is the liquidity, right? Where's all the money? What is the target, right? What's the target? And then I go and I look where are the entries, where are the institutions in drawdown, you know, and I'll go from there. So if we have 2 or 3 areas that we're targeting for buys or sells, those are my 2 or 3, you know, so if I lose the first one, I'm setting up for the second. If I lose the second, I'm going for the third. You know, I'm going to get the entries, you know, because like I said, for me, you know, it's a minimum of like 1 to 5, 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 8 ROIs. So for me, I'm going to keep taking the loss until it finally hits. You know, now granted, I have my personal, like I can only lose 6 trades a day. If I lose 6 trades a day, I'm done. You know, I just shut it down. You know, so I really, really, you know, try to pay attention, you know, and just don't force anything. You know, that's how I look at it, Bonnie. How do you check the validity of an institutional candlestick? Just look for evidence of buying or selling. So Victor, can you pull up a quick,
pull up an institutional candlestick. It's not a problem. I mean, even on a 4-hour chart, you could look at, so what you want to see is this isn't a perfect example, but you want to see them sell to buy. And when they're buying, you want them to buy very quickly.
It's an immediate turnaround. It's a quick, you know, that's why it's called an FU candle. It's a quick FU to take everyone's stops. and then they're off to the races.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I get that. So that one where there's been a sell and that quick buying pressure to the upside. But what I meant was, like, you know, when you're taking an entry off it to see, so if this is on the 4-hour time frame and you wanted to take an entry, like whether it's still valid whether it's been mitigated out of.
Right. So you could see so for in this example, right? In this example, that 4-hour candle has been mitigated out of. Right. The very next candle got mitigated out of. But that wick, the wick inside of that wick is where the entry is.
What you want to do is, the cleanest way to find it, like, let's look at this example here, but imagine this wick this candle didn't exist. Just imagine this candle is not here. If this candle goes and then this candle followed, this candle never got mitigated. This is why you want to look for an engulfing candlestick. Mike talks about this all the time. He's like, I'm always looking for an engulfing candle. I'm always looking for an engulfing candle to flow, because an engulfing candle guarantees that you have not yet been mitigated out of. If it doesn't engulf and a little slick comes in, there's a chance they mitigate it out of it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so for me, I just go through the time frames until I see that engulfing candle. I see the one candle that took liquidity, and then I need that immediate engulfing candle right afterwards. And then that's how I know, you know, that the candle that took liquidity, that's the institutional candle. So whether it's on a 6 minute, a 25 minute, a 2 hour, whatever time frame it's on, that's the candle I'm playing off of. And then from there, it's just determining, are you going to take it off the open of the candle? Because not all the time do they go to 50% of the candle,
Right here.
So
This move, this candle.
yep, perfect. Yep.
There you go. That's what it looks like. In golfing, price never came back until
That wick.
This mitigate here. No. So this candle still needs to get mitigated out of.
Oh yeah. You're right. No, but you know what? Yeah, that candle does. But on that time frame, I guarantee if you look at a different time frame, that was mitigation on some hourly or some minute, time frame. So
The less wick you have, the better too.
yes,
Yep.
yeah. Well, that's what I look for. So if I'm looking for, just if you're looking for buys, you want really no wicks on the bottom. So if you can get the candlestick that shows, and that's kind of how I narrow down whether I'm going to take it off of the 30 minute, the 5 minute, or the 2 hour. Which candle has the least wick, because that's the one to me that's the juiciest one to take. And then sometimes you'll get 3 or 4 different time frames, and then honestly from there I'm just going to start rolling the dice. I mean, like eeny meeny miny mo, that's the one I'm taking. And then sometimes you get filled, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, one thing I realize, and I think everybody realizes, to trade, you got to roll the dice. I mean, you can have all the confirmations in the world, but at the end of the day, you got to take the trade.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that goes back to mindset. That's one of the things that I do a lot of, is mindset stuff. Like I like reading, on my Kindle outside in the pool. I like, the best thing honestly is the YouTube, audiobooks. But understanding, and then of course, just, some of these go live guys, I don't know, the Trade House guys, just, they have it down, man, mindset wise, everything. And that's kind of how I just pulled the trigger. To me, it's not like, oh, it doesn't look good. If it doesn't look good, all right, go away, delete it off the watch list. I don't even want to know what happens afterwards if I delete it off the watch list, because I don't want that second guessing. If it looks great, I'm going to take it. If I lose, I go back and find out, why did I lose? What did I not see? What did I miss? If I win, I still go back and look, and I'm like, all right, yeah, this was a good trade. Here's the pictures. All right, I'm going to add it to my journal.
Zach said it best, man. If you know what you're doing, the point is to just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Stop questioning yourself.
That's dude, that's awesome. It is. Listen, if you know what you're doing, why, it's to me, I determine whether or not I'm going to take a trade or I'm not going to take a trade within 5 seconds. It's very simple. All my confirmations met. Yes, I'm taking the trade. Confirmations are not met. I'm not taking the trade. If something doesn't look right, I'm not taking the trade. And like I said, I deleted off the watch list. And I mean, every now and then I might peek to see what happened afterwards, but I could care less. It could have gone for 4,000 pips. I don't care. So, it is what it is, man. But hopefully everyone else is starting to get some good results. Mike, I know you're doing pretty well, right? You're getting some positive weeks. No, you're not there, Mike. You left, bro. You working on my internet? Is that what you're doing?
Oh, sorry, man. I took a call. What was the question?
I go, well, at least everyone's starting to see some positive results. And I was like, yeah, obviously you've had some pretty good positive weeks, right?
I've had some good weeks and some bad weeks, but I've had 3 good weeks in a row, which is the first time. So
there you go, man. Incredible. Yeah. There you go, man. Especially for being a new trader, man. It's a good feeling, and
stick. The best advice I can give: stick with what you're comfortable doing, and once you get comfortable with it, just stick with it. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Don't go and watch all of the educators, because you're gonna get confused. Just pick an educator that's the style that you like, the style that you understand, and then you can't go wrong.
Yeah. No, listen, I get it all the time. Like people reach out to me like, hey, somebody asked me today, hold on. I don't even remember what it was called. Wait, it was, somebody asked me if I use point and figure charts, which is like a different type of, instead of candlesticks, it's point and figure. And I was like, no. They were like, are you interested in like learning more about it? And I was like, no. I'm pretty comfortable in my strategy. Why am I going to learn something else? You know,
Mhm. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, exactly, man. It's exactly. Fritz, I know you're, you're getting back on the horse now that everything's kind of slowing down. Are you
Yep.
still, you're getting some pretty good results?
Yeah, it's hit and miss. For the most part, I'm doing pretty well. I'm getting a lot more comfortable with the indices, especially. So I have to be kind of opportunistic.
Yeah.
And so that seems to be playing better for me than other strategies. And I'll tell you, going to FX Choice with the smaller lot sizes is going to be
it helps, man.
a good call.
It helps.
So,
that's
I'm starting to get back in the flow and seeing things as they happen, and yeah, it's good. I'm taking my time.
Yeah. Well, listen, that's all it is, man. Don't rush it. And absolutely, one of the key things, because like I got my brother to do FX Choice as well. And, one of the things I liked about it was that, especially for people that are intimidated by US 30, you can, I mean, a 0.01 lot is literally 10 cents a point, so when that sucker moves 100 points, it's only $10, and honestly, instead of, I mean, when we were having these 1,000-point days, I mean, that's if you screw up, I mean, there's some people that I know that, kind of made some huge mistakes on it. And yeah, I mean, that's
I only had, I can't remember what day it was, but I had placed a trade and I thought it was going to go one way, and of course it didn't. And it was US 30, and I had right around 1,500. And my boss called me across the hallway into his office, and I was like, yeah. And I left my phone sitting there. I came back and it was all gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it happened quick, man.
Yeah.
But
No,
you know what? I learned some good lessons from it, so it's all good.
no, that
Great
works,
thing
man.
about FX Choice is you can trade the Dow with $100.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, not only that, but I don't know if you guys have signed. Did you sign up for the pro account or the standard?
Pro.
Yeah. So do you notice you don't get charged commission on indices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
How much does the pro cost?
it's not extra. So the difference. So really, real quick, the difference between a standard and a pro account. The standard, you are paying a commission fee for. I'm sorry, you're paying a no commission fees for anything, but your spreads are higher.
Okay.
So like on Euro USD, you might have a 2.5 pip spread, where on a pro account, which is a commission account, you might have a 0.5 spread, but you have a commission fee. So I tested both out, and I wanted to see, hey, what's the cost difference? So I took the exact same trades, and realistically, for the style of trading that we do, the pro, which is the commission one, works out better, because you pay the one-time commission. Because if you do the standard, just hypothetically look at it this, right? So if you have a standard account and you have a pip more in stop loss, or a pip more in spread, that means you have a pip more in stop loss. That means you have a pip less in your entry. So you're almost paying double on the standard account than you are on the commission account. But on indices on FX Choice, they don't charge you on the pro account. They don't charge you commission fees, which is huge, huge. Because let me tell you, like, I paid last year, I paid a couple $1,000s in commission fees to CoinEx just on US 30 and S&P, so that's paying, for not, whether you win or lose, that's paying the broker extra money. So that's one of the things I liked. And also, if you paid attention on FX Choice, they don't charge you swap fees for oil, which I haven't traded oil too much this year. But I do, once everything starts to flatten out, I definitely want to get into it, and it's nice not have a rollover fee on oil. And like yesterday I held my Dow buys, and you can check the swap fees. And yesterday the Dow had positive swap fees for buys, so I actually made money by holding over into the next day.
Excellent.
Yeah. So Julio, man, I see you on the call, bro. What how'd you do, man? How'd you make out?
This week was kind of crazy because I was in and out of the office. I'm starting to get busy again with work, so I'm probably flat for the week.
Yeah. What
I had a lot of break evens.
Yeah.
Like overnight, they were positive, 50 pips, and then when I woke up in the morning, I was broken even, which is fine. I didn't lose money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it gets frustrating.
No, it does. I think I had 4. I had 4 break evens this week, and it was aggravating, like I definitely was a little aggravated by it. But one of the things, like, I don't know if you guys watched any of the sessions where John Fibonacci comes on Trade House. He talks a lot about seasonality. And that's one of the things you may start want to look at. I'll drop the website that you can look at all the seasonality stuff in the Telegram. But, as we get into the summer months, the market definitely starts to slow down. Traders are on break, stuff like that. And, like yesterday, the Dow moved 150 points up and down yesterday, which was horrible, garbage, So, it sucks, when you don't get the movements that you want,
They have the seasonality video on the Trade House courses. That
Yeah.
if anybody wants to watch it, they can check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah. And like I said, there's I'll post the link for the website. I have it saved. I haven't really checked it out too much. Honestly, dude, I I don't want to be a one-man show, so I don't need to do all the research and all that stuff. I literally just watch the 3 p.m. Power Hour, and John Fibonacci talks about, hey, yeah, so seasonality, blah, blah, blah. The pounds are going to, go long in the beginning of the month, and they're going to short in the end of the month. All right, sounds good. He did the work for me, so.
Hey, Mike, do you remember when was it? Wednesday, I think, or Thursday, when Steady called out a buy on
GJ?
Was it GJ?
I don't know. I think it was the only buy they called out, but I didn't take it. I'm short. I'm bearish on GJ. I agree with it because I wanted to sweep those equal highs up top, but I had a sell order sitting there, and I just wanted to take the sell order. I wasn't interested in the buy.
I think it was EJ.
On Steady? I don't know.
Yeah, because I took it and I went break even, and then it came back and stopped me out.
You sure? Was it this?
Sure.
Was it this week?
Yeah, it was this week.
I just know that I know it was a Japanese yen pair.
No, it was GJ. It was GJ. I'm 100% confident. Just log in real quick to it, and you can see it. But it was GJ because I had it. I marked it up, and I didn't take it because I was like, I agreed that I would like to see it go long so that it could take the equal highs and I could sell it.
It was EJ and GJ.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was both, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that was John's call.
No, that was Justin's. Yeah.
I was looking at it. I'm like, John Dollery does not call these.
Yeah, no, it was Justin. So, hey, real quick, for back testing the smart money concepts. Yeah, I did a lot of back testing. I spent, I want to say maybe around November is when I started trading smart money concepts, and I spent a lot of hours back testing and learning the strategy. And honestly, the easiest way to do it, I'll tell you right now, the easiest recommendation to learn how to do smart money is tune into Zach McDonald. Tune into Zach McDonald Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. And he comes on 5 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know where you're at, but yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern is when he comes on. And he is by far, I think, the best trade house educator to learn the actual smart money concepts from, because he breaks it down. He walks you through, and he'll even go to his favorites, and you'll see some videos that he posts of actually understanding the strategy. So, Bonnie, so okay, good. You 10 wins, 4 losses, 8. That's awesome. Listen, if you practice proper risk management and you go 5 and 5, if you split it 50% winning, you still made money, because every trade should be at least a 2-to-1. I personally don't take anything under 2-to-1. I don't even like to take 2-to-1. It's got to be more for me.
I don't remember the last time we see you take anything under 3-to-1.
Yeah, no, I don't. To me, it's not worth it. No. It's not worth the risk.
I'm 5-to-1, man. I don't take anything less than that.
Yeah. No.
That's a little more like it.
Yeah, no. And like I said, I especially now that we've got some newer traders in the group. My brother's doing it as well. So I'm trying to take, and I have a small little account I take the harmonics on, just because it's easier, for a newer trader, it's easier to learn the harmonic stuff. It's already giving you a kind of a setup. You just have to wait on confirmations. And, I take them so that when I get questions asked, hey, what about this or that? I have an idea of what they're talking about. I have no idea, man. I'm not in that trade. I'm not even looking at it. So that's the only reason I do it.
I couldn't get the harmonics. I didn't do well on it.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's in the beginning for me, I would say I had a high win ratio to it, right? But I wasn't making any money because most of the setups are like 1-to-1, So like you lose one, you win one, you lose one, you win. I mean, like it's a never ending circle, So it wasn't until I kind of started, incorporating, the certain things, like it just patience was one of them, but I don't take the 15-minute ones. I mean, the 15-minute ones are horrible ROIs, so, do you recommend newer people start smart money to focus on a handful of currency? So listen, I'll tell you right now, like if you aren't, the reason I'm really good at smart money concepts is because I learned all of the retail trading stuff before. So it gave me an understanding of the retail trade mindset. So as a smart money concept trader, I can, I know what I would have done, and now I do the opposite, so it's good to, I mean, if you're a newer trader, I would definitely recommend smart money concepts because it's a higher percentage, here's my thinking about it. Smart money concepts is less trades. You're not taking as many trades. So you're risking less. So you're risking less in the market because anytime you enter the market, it's a risk. Whether you're good or not, it's still a risk. So the less time you're in the market, and the more probability of taking higher probability trades. That's what I like about smart money. So,
anyway, can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
I don't know who asked the question, but also look at the time zone that you like to trade in. I mean, if you're getting overwhelmed by the currency pairs. So, for instance, if you're a morning trader and you like to be in front of the charts, let's say for between 8 a.m. and you have time between like 8 a.m. and noon, focus on the currency pairs that are going to do best inside the crossover period. If you're an evening trader and you like to trade at night, well, then focus on all the Japanese and the Australian ones, because those are going to have the most volatility. They're going to have the most volume around them. Right? Just, starting off, and this is something that I wasn't doing, and then I got overwhelmed with all these pairs. But starting off with just looking at the time period where you can trade, and then focusing on the pairs that are most liquid inside that time block will give you an opportunity, A, to cut out some of the ones that don't apply to you, and B, kind of, get rid of a little bit of the chaos and get a little bit of organization around around your trading.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that honestly, and time of day too is something else I look at. It's not a huge deciding factor, but I still, it's definitely recommended, so if you, like, I live in Florida, right? So I'm Eastern Coast, right? New York session's my big session for me. So I typically like US dollar pairs because that's when the most volatility on the dollar pairs are. I also like a lot of the European, Euro pound pairs I like because I can get nice entries at that London close time. That Frankfurt close, that 10 a.m., that 11 a.m. for me is prime entry time for me, and then there's other pairs that I don't trade, like I'm not a big Swiss franc guy. The only Swiss franc pair I trade, honestly, is the US dollar Swiss franc. And lately that guy is not on my, he's not on my happy list. So there's a reason I don't trade Swiss franc pairs because they move too slow, there's odd CHF is a prime example, man. that sucker moved like 35 pips in all week. So,
I will say this though, if you're brand new to smart money concepts, those slower pairs are great to practice on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, because they don't pass you as fast. So if you get really good at trading the slow pairs, then the quicker pairs, the ones that got a lot more volatility to them, you'll grasp it a lot better.
Yeah. What was it last week or the week before? EJ in 15 minutes with like 150 pips. Well, my bad, Victor. My bad. Victor, you're the one that missed it, right?
Oh, that was like 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago, man. That thing was beautiful, dude. Hey, listen, I sent it out. I was like, hey, I'm getting in this right now. And 15 minutes later, it was like 14% in profit.
But that was like all the Euro pairs just went nuts.
Yeah. And so EU, I remember that setup because it was a crazy setup. EU was off of that. It was liquidity capture, and then came to mitigate that candle, and it just
and then to the moon, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
You're like, what is going on right now?
Yeah,
it's like that US 30 trade that you missed. You actually missed that.
Don't get no. I was in it. I closed out. I closed out. I didn't miss it. I was in it. I missed it as soon. Hey, there's always a delay, right? You always notice that there's like, like if you're on US 30, you close out your trade. There's like a 3-second delay, and say like you're up like 100 pips. All of a sudden, when you closed out, you're down like to 91. Yeah, that didn't happen on the flip side for me. When I closed out, there was no delay. It was I closed out at 10 points, and then boom, a 200-point drop. So,
yeah, that was.
I remember that day. I was so mad.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was 26% right there.
Wow. Yeah, must be nice, bro. Must be nice, man. Yeah, but I can't speak more about smart money concepts, man. It is once you have that understanding of how the market, and I like it because you have an understanding of how the market moves. You can sit there time in and time out and say, I mean, that's why I know that the stupid Dow is going to go to 25 or 24,500. Might not be today, but it's going to go relatively soon because it needs to grab that liquidity before we go down. And I'm bearish on it. I mean, I want to sell that sucker down. I really wanted it to get up to that higher mitigation point because I want to, I've got areas in the 23,000s that I'm targeting. There's all kinds of liquidity down there that needs to be mitigated out, and there's a bunch of imbalance. So
can I show you something on the Dow real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, watch. Pardon my messiness. Oh, hold on. I'm going to go to my main list. Oh, here we go.
Man, you are way more detailed than me.
What, on the charts?
Yeah, Victor's is pretty detailed.
No, but if you zoom in, it all makes sense. It just doesn't make sense when it's all.
Bro, you got to be. Listen, you got to have the game plan, man. That's all, what it's all about. You got to have the game plan. Like understand where they're going and why they're doing it.
So remember how you and I were talking about the Dow was going to sell, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you looked at the daily recently, but this is definitely some sort of an accumulation distribution thing going on here.
Uh-huh.
And I can see some traces of Wyckoff forming. I mean, we obviously have liquidity below here, but there is a gap, a daily gap, that they could potentially run into before going down, or they could just take the sucker down because they got all these different targets. But
what's that? When was that gap? What's the date?
This is March 8th, or no, this is the March 9th. This is the Monday.
Okay, all right.
March 9th. That's when it happened. So this gap right here and this whole accumulation it looks like a distribution schematic.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's distribution, not accumulation.
Yeah, it looks like a distribution schematic, but I was going over it on the daily and I'm like, man, if this is true and this thing is real, I mean, whether we get this up thrust or not, it doesn't matter. This is going to go.
No, it's going to tank. It's going to tank. I mean,
we're looking at this.
What is? Yeah, I mean, and you know what? They're talking about that whole, it's a V-shaped recovery. Oh, it may be a W-shaped recovery. I mean, I think I don't believe that we're going to see a V-shape. I mean, granted, if you look at the NAS is pretty much eradicated 90% of the drop. I mean, it's almost back to equal highs.
Yeah,
but when they get to second quarter announcements, and you're going to see the true impact of COVID-19, everything is going to fall through the floor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust. This is all just manipulation. This is people that were like, oh my God, it's so low. Let's buy up. Let's buy up. Let's buy up. You know, but I see. You know, listen, I have some alerts on some stocks down at the bottom, like Royal Caribbean. If you go to Royal Caribbean stock, you'll see an area of just nice equal lows, like a triple bottom. Dude, when those get taken, I'm buying Royal Caribbean. So
they're up. All the cruise liners are up. I don't even understand how people are buying them.
Yeah, but go. It's RCL. Type in RCL real quick. Watch this. All right, just kind of minimize. But look at you look at those equal lows right there. You know, what are you on a daily? Yeah. Look at the equal lows right there. That's going to get hit. You know, yeah. You know, I'm waiting. I'm waiting because that's where I'm buying. I'm buying. You know, in there, because it's going to. You know, I guarantee you it's going to. You know.
100%. Look at all this.
And look at the, I mean, just look at the ROI. I mean, I'm not doing it leveraged, but look at the ROI. Look where it was, you know, the 130s. And if I can pick it up for 15, 16 bucks, dude, that I'm holding it, you know?
The last time, oh my God.
Yeah. Look at it.
2011?
Yeah.
This is like coming out of the recovery, basically.
But if you now just draw a line, I have it on my chart, but there's a line. You'll see there's like a triple. It's the triple bottom somewhere in there. Yeah, right. Is that it right there? Yeah, right there. It's a triple bottom. Yeah, there you go. It's a triple bottom. Look at that. Going all. It's a triple bottom. that's where I'm buying, and I guarantee you can find an institutional candle somewhere below there. But that's I've got an alert. I've got an alert set on Royal Caribbean. I've got an alert set on Boeing. I'm looking at some of the, you know, I'm not looking to, you know, to go crazy. I'm looking at some of the bigger companies that I know that aren't going to go bankrupt, they're able to withstand this. You know, Boeing's not going anywhere. Listen, there's three
out, even if they are tight on cash, they're just going to bail them out.
Yeah. No, listen, there's 3 aircraft manufacturers in the world, and Boeing is one of the largest military contractors. So they're not going anywhere. You know, sure, they may have a rough patch, but that's where I'm going to drop some money into a Robinhood stock on it. You know,
I think they already got bailout money, or they refused it, or something like that.
Yeah. No, they're not, you know, I'm not going crazy, you know, but yeah, there's a couple stocks that I'm looking at, you know, just to do small investments on, you know, but understanding smart money, I know exactly where it's going. You know, there's no, you know, the whole fear of missing out. That's where a lot of like the whole Royal Caribbean stocks being up now, that's all FOMO, man. That's people like, oh, it's so low. I'm going to buy it here. I'm going to buy it. Nope, I'm not buying it yet. I'm waiting. You know, even if I got to wait, you know, 3-4 months for the midterms to come out, or maybe like third quarter reporting, you know, something, you know. So
this is just going to run out. It's going to stop working. That's it. I mean, bankruptcies, anyways.
Yeah,
it's gonna hit the shit's gonna hit the fan.
So, oh well, man. Oh well. Well, listen, it was a good week. You know, I'm eager to get into next week. So. You know, well, Monday's a holiday. I know, you know, indices aren't trading on Monday. They're going to open Sunday night, but they're going to close. I think they close at like London Monday morning. So, I mean, I'm not even interested in looking at them until Tuesday. And of course, you know, currencies, you know, I'm not expecting a huge amount of movement Sunday and Monday. You know, we may get a little movement, you know, maybe on some like Euro and GBP pairs, but that's about it. So I'm pretty much.
Like ever since, you know, I started trading with Pips of Blue with you, I noticed one thing, and my trading plan says you're not taking any trades on Mondays unless like the world's greatest schematic presents itself, or like this trade you cannot miss. Because I noticed if I look back at all my trades, all my stop losses happen on Monday.
Yep. Wednesday, Thursdays are the best days, man.
Wednesdays and Thursdays are trades happened this week. Wednesday, Thursday. 2 other trades happened on Monday, but the best ones were Wednesday, Thursday, or sorry, Tuesday. Tuesday was Monday.
Typically, the only trades I take on Mondays are indices. You know, indices or like oil or something like that. You know, because and those are, you know, if like I'll tell you right now. So like Monday. or I'm sorry, yeah. So like say Tuesday London session, if I get the alert that the Dow is up there at that 5-minute candle and it took all the equal highs, I'm going to have my order. I'm going to get ready to sell it, but for the most part, I'm not in a rush, like I said, I took 6 trades the entire week, currencies, only 6 currency trades this week, 3 of them were break evens. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not in a huge rush, and it's only if it meets all my confirmations. So. Well, other than that, man, listen, it's Memorial Weekend for everybody in the U.S. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. I wanted to do this today because I'm shutting everything down for the weekend. Like I'm not checking Telegram. I'm not looking at charts. I'm not doing anything until I'll probably get into it maybe like Sunday night. I'll start looking where the market opens and start charting some stuff up. What do you got there, bro? What do you got?
I don't know. I'm just looking at GJ. EU. That's the last one I wanted to go over before we.
Yeah. Let me see what you got. Yeah, because I saw the entry where the entry was. I just wasn't taking it because I wasn't trusting the dollar, man. It was just being stupid.
It's one of those things where you just trust your analysis. Everybody's got theirs, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Because I'm like, that's my analysis. Like if I can't trust the analysis, there's nothing I can trust. And EU did end up working out really well.
What time was the entry at? What was the time?
Oh, dude, 8:20.
Oh.
8:20.
Yeah. I was checking Telegram to see if that chart was dropped, but I didn't catch that on the Telegram. I was just curious.
No, but if you remember, we were it was the Tuesday night call, and I showed EU to you, and you said, "Man, I'm not taking it." So I was like,
"Yeah, no, I me personally, I wasn't. And
I was watching DXY. I knew exactly where you were coming from.
Yeah,
I was watching the DXY. I was like, man, DXY is dangerous right now because this thing was going.
Yeah.
It wasn't stopping. It wasn't planning on stopping. So, but yeah. But it did work out.
What was the ROI you finally got on it?
14 to 1, and I would have taken a second entry. I had it marked up, but I didn't.
Yeah. So. No, I mean, I see it. It looks nice. I mean, it was definitely a good, a really nice distribution schematic there.
It was.
I'm just curious to see overall what the heck EU, what the dollar's going to do. I mean, eventually it's got to break out of this stupid range, man. We either gotta, we're either going to go up or we're going to go down, man. It's silly.
I'll show you something on EU. So I think EU needs to come back to mitigate this. I have this number right here.
Yeah. What's that, 150 to 1? Hey, listen, though. But I'll tell you right now, it's worth it. If you don't think dropping 0.5%, if you don't think it's worth making 75% off a half of a percent risk, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. I'll drop it all day long. To me, that makes sense. I've got it marked up. It's on like the 3-minute, right? Or are you on the 1 minute?
It's I got like what the hell does it say here? Hold on.
Yeah, I found one. I found one on a 1 minute, and I found one on a 3-minute. And like the 1 minute, the 1 minute is the 1 minute open is the 3-minute 50%. So
okay, well there you go. I don't even think I can go back that far in the 1 minute anymore. But anyway, yeah, it's there, and I think this is going to be huge.
Yeah,
because it's
well, I mean, it's if the dollar melts, man. Which, I mean,
it should.
That's what they want to do, man. Fritz, man, have a good one, dude. Absolutely enjoy, man. We're here for you, bro. Yeah, and there's a lot of outside influence that wants the dollar to melt. So, I don't see why it won't. I mean, realistically, other than it just taking those equal highs, I don't see a reason for it to go any higher. I mean, it may pop up to grab those highs, and just by looking at EU would sweep the lows, and then off to the races we go.
Yeah, exactly. And dude, I can't wait for this to come in. I mean, 2 things are going to happen. You're either going to lose 1% or make 150.
Yeah, no, but that's what I said. It's worth it. To me, it's worth it. I mean, there is no. It's the point of no return. At that point, it's either going to react or it's dropping, through the floor, and we're going all the way down. So you're either going to be on or you're going to be off.
Exactly. 100%.
So, what? Hey, Wyckoff. Yeah. So honestly, Zach McDonald for Wyckoff too. He has his actually his course is down right now, but he's got but he's got videos on there to teach you Wyckoff, because honestly Wyckoff is awesome. I don't have it as down packed as Victor, but I can I can't tell you what signs of strength or the or the break of what's up.
I'll tell you one thing. I know you don't pay attention. I just studied it, but dude, 78% or 88% of your positions are the same as mine, and you're like, I know it. It's there. You're taking the same position anyways.
No, I see, because what it is I can see the accumulation or I see the distribution. I just don't have the nomenclature down. If you look at all the charts I look at, right? What do I look for? Equal lows. I look for the spring, right? The test, and then I take the entry off that. I don't know all the other stuff. I don't need to put the signs of weakness, or I don't need to put the the break, all that other stuff. I mean, it's great to know it, but for me, I just seeing the pattern, I understand that it's accumulation or distribution, so, and for me it works. So
that's the most important thing at the end of the day, because now you understand how to read the chart.
Yeah. Yep. And once you understand, if you're in accumulation, you're going up, and if you're in distribution, you're coming down. So you don't even need to really worry about anything else. You just got to look, all right, distribution, let me find an entry to take the sucker down. Accumulation, let me find an entry to take it up, and then it's easy from there,
100%.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, dude.
Yeah. Listen, you guys enjoy the weekend. I will be back at it Sunday. We'll look to see what we're gonna catch, man, because we definitely have a lot of good setups that I have on my radar, and like I said, I'm in no rush, because I know if Monday, Tuesday don't pan out, I know Wednesday, Thursday we'll catch at least 2 or 3 moves that'll get us there. This week I had some really good setups. The bias was right, but 2 or 3 of the entries, man, GU pissed me off. CJ pissed me off, because they melted, and
I could have sworn you were still in GU.
No, I got out at the equal lows, and honestly, the whole reason I got out is I don't remember who I was watching. I think I was watching Rock Kumar or something like that, and I think because he was bullish on GU or something like that, and I was like, you know what, let me just take my earning, let me just take the percentage I got out, and I'm gonna get out, just because it was a small range, it is what it is, though. No big deal, man. But I am still in AU, though. I'm gonna hold AU over the weekend, and I'm gonna hold what else am I holding over the weekend? AJ. I'm in AJ too, so I'm holding AJ over the weekend.
What are your swap fees for? I've never held a trade over the weekend yet. So what kind of what do you usually pay?
Well, so here, you know how you can tell, right?
What the swap fees are?
Yeah.
I never looked inside the CoinEx, but I know you sent me screenshots of it.
So yeah, just go to your quotes on your phone. Go to quotes. And here, you know what? I'll show this for everybody. Give me a sec. I'll share my phone. Let's see. Share screen. iPhone. Trust. Okay. So yeah, when you get, as soon as my phone pops up here. So from your phone, right? From your phone, all you need to do, as soon as the sucker opens up, there it goes. All right. So from your phone, right? For the love. Come on. There we go. All right. So all you have to do is say EU here, right? Just go to EU, go to details, and you see swap long, swap short. So they're paying 2.05 for shorts, and they're paying. So what it is, it's $2.05 per 100,000 units, and it's negative $5.22. For per 100,000 units, right? Because you see the contract size is 100,000. So that's how you got to look at it. You can go to Chef, go to details, same thing. It'll tell you USD Swiss franc. They're paying positive swap fees for longs, negative for shorts. So that's kind of some, like the other day when I was in a U30 trade, right?
You Sorry, can you clarify something? So,
Yeah.
a standard, this must be a stupid question, but a standard lot is equivalent to what?
100. It's 100. Yeah. So on EU, right? If you were trading, where the hell is EU? If you were trading EU right now and you wanted to hold it over and we were in a short and it was a one standard lot, you would get $2.05 positive on your swap fee. And if you were longing it and you're going to hold it over, they're going to charge you $5.22.
Got it.
Okay. So yeah. I made pretty decent money on my U30 trade.
You could just look at the swap fees and you know where the short or long interest is.
Yes. Yep. That's pretty much it, man. And that's one of the things I do. Like I'll come here. Hold on. I come over here. Where is it? There's this website that you can come here to. I've used it before. I know I've said it. It's 4xop.com that I use, and it gives you all the here, watch, let's see. As soon as it opens up. Yeah, so these are all of the carryovers, right? So you can see all of the different currency pairs, what's long, what's short, and the percentage that they're paying out. It's the average percentage. Each broker is different, but you can see that all these for EU short, GBP, Swiss franc long, they're actually both are yeah. So here's your broker average, and then the highest one, what the highest broker is paying out. So
it changes every day too, so you gotta watch for that.
Yeah, and I do. That's how I determine whether or not I'm going to close out. But remember, and I don't know if everyone knows this, on Wednesdays you get charged double swap fee to account for Saturday and Sunday not having swap fees because the market's closed. So, like on Wednesday, U30 had a positive buy swap, right? So I was in a short-term buy. So I held it because I was like, I'm going to make double swap fees anyway. And my TP is probably going to get hit. So my TP got hit at like 7 p.m. and I made double swap fees. But had it been negative, I would have just closed out, because there's no sense in me paying double swap fees on Wednesday. So yeah, I always check this. And then I have, on forex.com, because I use Forex now as my currency broker. They have this here that I can just go right to the website. It updates every day, and I get to know exactly what the swaps are. Like right now, look, GU for today has a 0 swap on positive and negative. So if I was selling GU, I would hold it over the weekend. I'm holding AU. I'm gonna get charged a little bit of swap, but I don't want to lose my position. And so I look at this. I look at this all the time. Actually, all the pounds. Look at that, dude. If I was in GJ2, man, I'd hold the sell. I like to look at this. I like to look at this a lot, and it kind of gives me an idea of what I what I'm going to get out of it. UCAD, like last week when we were selling UCAD, UCAD 0 right here now too. So I held UCAD for like 3 days on a sell because it was zero swap fees. So if I'm not going to get charged swap fees, man, heck, I'm gonna take advantage of it. So, oh well, man. Oh well. All right, guys. Well, listen, it's been fun. It was a nice afternoon. I'll catch you guys later, man, if nothing else.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike. See ya.
Oh, look at this bastard. All right, man. I'll see you guys. Peace out, man.
Later.